Hello, this is week 7 of Art Appreciation Online Summer 2019. I'm Brian Hitzelberger, and the announcement for this week, we're back to the normal posting schedule. So this week your video is going to be due on Thursday, and your responses will be due on Saturday, as is normally the case. So this week we looked at the last several lectures and PowerPoints and readings are dedicated to the 20th century. And we looked at a lot of art movements that just sort of happened one right after the other. In art history, the 20th century is often presented as sort of all of these different camps, these different schools of thought that just kind of happen bing, 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 bing. So I compiled a list on our class discussion page of all of these movements. They are Neoclassicism, Romanticism, Realism, Impressionism, Post-Impressionism, the Fauves, Expressionism, Cubism, and Futurism. That's quite a bunch. So for this week's discussion, I would like you to select a movement and talk about why it attracts you, one that you find particularly appealing or interesting, and tell me why. Cite a work from this movement, maybe show an image from this movement, like on the camera from your textbook. And in your discussion, be sure and include some discussion about the philosophies behind it, okay? Why were the artists in this movement making art the way that they did? What were their philosophies? I need to hear that you are engaging with these philosophies because, of course, that is the impetus that drives the work. That's really the story of these art movements, is that a kind of philosophy or aesthetic theory drove the artists to make the decisions that they did. You can be attracted to the way the work looks, you can be attracted to what the theory is, you can be attracted to both. But I need to see one and hear about the other from you. Additionally, I'd like you to select one movement that repels you, that you don't like. You don't like the way the work looks, you don't like what the philosophy or aesthetic theory is, or both. And again, give us an example and tell me that you are engaging with that aesthetic theory. I need to hear that you are engaging with the text, okay? This is a subjective post. This is very much about what you like and don't like. I don't normally do posts like this, but I did want to make a space for us to sort of explore our own sense of taste and likes and dislikes. But this only is going to work if you can kind of back up your subjective opinions by demonstrating that you are familiar with the aesthetic theory and philosophies behind the art movements themselves. So be sure and include that in your video. The other announcement is that our museum and gallery visit paper is due this week. So be sure and get that turned in. I'm going to check the deadline on that. I believe that is due on July 13th, Saturday at 5 p.m. You're going to visit a museum, a local gallery, or a local artist exhibit, and you're going to write a reflection of your experience. Tell me where you went, what you saw, and select one artwork to discuss. 2 double-spaced typed pages. It says follow basic APA style. You probably won't end up referencing anything because this is very much about your experience of going to an art space. It's not necessarily about doing research, okay? But that is also due on Saturday. I like to do this assignment towards the end of the class because at this point we've done all these readings and sort of thought critically about all these different art periods as well as all these different mediums. So you're going into this experience sort of really prepared, and I think you're probably going to notice some connections that maybe you wouldn't have noticed if you hadn't gone in before, or if you had gone in before taking the class, okay? So that's it for this week. I look forward to viewing your videos as always, and I will see you next week.